Yay! We're recording. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, depending on where you are. Um, I'm in Pacific time zone, so it's still morning for me. But I am excited as usual because, well, it's Tuesday, and we all know what happens Tuesdays. We get paid, woohoo! But we also have this call every Tuesday. It's so crazy. I cannot believe I've been doing this call for like 2.5 years, like 3 years. I don't even know, but I have interviewed so many different 200Ks. I love this call. I mean, if you're joining us for the first time, I hope you guys have pen and pad ready because seriously, this has become a lot of people's favorite Zoom. I know it's mine. Just to be able to hear tips and tricks from people that are where you guys want to be. And everybody does things a little bit differently, but we all kind of have the same message and get there a lot of the same ways. And I love this Zoom so much every week because it's just one little thing sometimes that you can tweak your business in just the smallest way, and it changes everything. So I am excited. If you guys don't know who Webb is, I actually have had the honor of interviewing her before, and she is awesome. But it's been a while. It's definitely been over a year. And you guys, we have so many brand new people, and there's so many 200Ks in the company. And that's why I started this Zoom, because I want to be able to hear people's stories. And without it, I can't. There's so many 200Ks that I've had on this Zoom that I never would have known anything about them or their stories. And I mean, it's one of the awesome things about Lavelle is that's how many 200Ks are in this company. And I was like, we need something to where we can highlight people, because I want to know where they came from and what their stories are and what their tips are, so I can steal all their stuff and get better as a leader. And that's why I started this a couple years ago, and it has been nothing short of phenomenal. And if you guys don't know who Karri Webb is, she is awesome. You're about to hear from her right now. And we have so many new people, Karri, that I want to just do what we did last time and start with like your story as far as what you were doing before you ever did any kind of network marketing at all. And then if you did any network marketing before Lavelle, and then how you found Lavelle, and then we'll kind of go from there.
All right. Awesome. I'm ready.
Woohoo!
Thanks for having me again. It has been a while. So I'm excited to talk to everyone today. My name's Karri Webb, and I am in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. Lisa, I think you were originally from Ohio too. So
Yeah, Toledo. I don't know
nice
where that's
weather
at
now.
though.
So we're actually, today's like the last, I think we got 2 days of nice weather. So we're trying to do all these house projects. So I just got all cleaned up really quick because I've been in the middle of repainting my garage door. We're doing my deck. I just painted my hallway, my stairs yesterday. So we got to take advantage of some nice weather when you can open the windows. So that's what we have in Ohio. But I will share a little bit of my background. As Lisa had said, I've actually been in this industry a while. So I was, I guess I'm the kind of person that just can never relax. So I always have had like a side hustle mindset. I was in banking for about 12 years. I was with Bank of America and US Bank. I actually did credit card collections for about 10 years, ran a payment program department, helped people get out of bad financial situations and get them healthy with their money. And that's kind of always been my passion, is helping people and making people happy. I think on a corporate interview that I had, it was, what is your favorite thing in life and what do you want out of a career? And it was to make people happy. And that's never changed. So this industry has been a great fit for me. So I learned a lot in banking, especially credit card collections, what not to do with money. And, a lot of lessons, came along with that. And then I did branch banking. I was a manager for US Bank until, my side hustle kind of allowed me to leave that. I had used to do, when the kids were younger, I did the jewelry parties. here and there, but I never really made any money. I don't think I ever signed anybody up, but I had tons of jewelry. I spent a lot of money, but it was fun. And it was always just, that little extra side hustle. My husband and I have had an eBay store as, kind of just a second source of income for almost, my son will be 20 this year. So almost 20 years, just buying and reselling things. We've just kind of always done that. I still do it. There's nothing wrong with ever keeping your plan B in place. So we've always still just done that on the side, along with Lavelle. So that's been part of, our life. We've just had that entrepreneur mindset. So after jewelry parties, um, that kind of phased out. I loved, like I said, I liked the extra side hustle. So I was working full time at the bank. I missed a lot of time with my kids when they were really little. They're now 19 and almost 17. So this would have been awesome opportunity when they were little. But we made things work. My husband and I worked opposite shifts. He bartended at night and I worked at the bank during the day. So we had about a half hour in between shifts to pass the kids off. So that was how we raised our kids. We always just worked opposite shifts. So we've been home now together 8 years, full time, 24 hours a day, and haven't killed each other yet. So that, that's a plus as well. But kind of skipping around a little bit, I guess. But once, I was in banking. We had a lot of changes years ago, probably about 9 years ago. Banking took like a huge dump. And it definitely put me in a bad place in life. I think I missed over 6 months of work. I was on FMLA, all kinds of various anxiety medications. I physically would have a panic attack when I would drive to work. I would get there and I would turn back around. My position changed and I was in a new position that I hated. I physically hated going to work. And it put me in a huge, huge funk. And I've never been that way. I gained weight. I just became someone that I never imagined I would be. And that's when I found a supplement company. I put on a bunch of weight. I had someone that asked me if I was pregnant. And I was like, no, it's just Chipotle. Cause I would just eat Chipotle and I would eat the Chinese buffet and I did nothing. So that really took a toll on me. What corporate America did and those changes. So I was able to find a supplement company a friend of mine lost weight with, and I decided to give it a shot because I'd never taken anything in my whole life. I joined that company and it actually, once I started getting healthier and was able to help people with their health and their wellness, actually I left Bank of America, started branch management in US Bank. Life started to get so much better. I was healthy. I was happy. I liked making people feel good. And I really enjoyed that business. It was a smaller scale company that I was with. And I did that company for almost 3 years. After about 2 years, we got to a point where we really wanted to let me leave corporate America. We'd been doing our eBay store. My husband and I had also, I told you we like side hustles. We actually did cornhole bags for about 9 years. He would spend the day once he left the restaurant. He actually would sew all day and I would help him when I came home from work and we would sew bags and had a big cornhole business making these bags. And it worked. We were able to, pay the bills and we were getting to a position where my income was was surpassing what I was making at the bank with direct sales. So we made a plan to allow me to leave. I don't know if you've never heard my story before or anything that I've been on. It's usually a lot. I talk a lot about discipline with money, our finances, and kind of how we are debt free because of this business and the smart moves that I feel like we made. A lot have to do with my husband. He's kind of the mastermind behind our finances, but I wanted to leave my job. I ended up getting robbed at gunpoint in October, and we kind of sped up my timeline. My timeline was by March the following year. We sped up my timeline after that because I was a little stressed out being there. And we said we wanted to have 2 years worth of all our household bills in a savings put away. In this industry, there's so many ebbs and flows, guys. We wanted to just be prepared. You never know what could happen. We wanted to have all our unsecured credit card debt paid off. We wanted to have an expense account for insurance, medical insurance, because the day I left the bank, we would no longer have insurance. I had to have insurance the following day. And we had to have a car repair account. We didn't have newer cars, so we put away money for car repairs. So we definitely set ourselves up, so I could leave. We also I took my last tax return when I left the bank. I knew that was going to be the last time someone would be giving me money, I would be paying. So I treated it like it didn't exist. So I would always have that set aside to push me going forward with paying taxes. So I definitely tried to be really, really disciplined, and make sure that we were set up, so I could leave the bank. Left banking. It was great. Unfortunately, the company I was with, I don't even know how many formula changes they've had now. But their formula changed in their product multiple times, which took away the credibility of the product and the company. I met amazing people in that company, and I learned so much about this industry, the compensation plans, everything like that. So when the opportunity to join Lavelle came along, I was pretty closed-minded. I was probably someone you would look at in another company and you're like, they're never going anywhere. They love that company. I loved my team. I loved, being a part of what it was. Had no intentions of going anywhere. And then Holly Choate, one of my good friends, we actually had just earned our a trip from our last company, and we were together. And I just knew her heart wasn't in it anymore. And shortly after that, she joined Lavelle, and I was happy for her. She was getting happy, becoming the Holly that I loved, that was like my best friend again. I loved seeing who she was with this product, with this company, but I had no interest whatsoever in going anywhere. I had left my career for my last company. I wasn't going to go anywhere. And then I continued to watch, and I saw how happy she was. And I saw all these bonuses and the car bonuses. And I'm thinking, gosh, I'm surrounded by all these people who are not happy anymore. The products aren't doing what they used to do. It was kind of what, the company made these changes, and it was unfortunate because it wasn't the people. So I decided to look into Lavelle after she kept posting all the Lavelle live calls. And I just dialed in so I could prove that Lavelle was hype. Too good to be true, smoke and mirrors. I thought it was just, too good to be true. I started to dial into those calls that she would share. After my first call, I was like, holy crap, I'm screwed. Like, I want to join this company, like insert foot in mouth. Like, this company is it. Everybody was happy. They were loving the product. They were having fun and feeling good. And I missed being around people like that. I missed making people feel like that. And, that's part of who I am. I want to make people feel good. So I spent 2 weeks listening to calls. I printed up the full compensation plan. I was obsessed with the compensation plan. I came from a binary plan. The fact that it was unilevel and you could get paid on everybody. The waiting room actually was probably my favorite feature. When I heard about the waiting room, I couldn't believe a concept existed like that. It just blew my freaking mind. That they had something that was so incredible. I don't think you guys even realize how amazing the waiting room feature is. To me, it's the best thing that we have. And I was intrigued as well that we were cloud-based. Coming from being at Bank of America, we were like the biggest bank. We were capable of anything. In the banking industry, I had the capability to do so much technologically, sharing screens, training. So, I loved the aspect that Lavelle was kind of like I always think of like the Bank of America of, direct sales, or the Amazon of direct sales. So, I actually just reached out to her finally. She got me on a call with Jennifer Zant, her enroller, shared her story. But I really wanted to know more about the business too. So she got me on a call with Maria. And when I heard Maria paid off her student loans, I was like, oh my God, I have almost $70,000 in student loans. To me, that was eye opening. I didn't think that they were ever going to be something that would ever be out of my life. It was the burden in my marriage, my finances. My student loan payment was higher than my previous mortgage payment. And all of that's gone now, because of this business. So, I decided that it was the week before Christmas. After I finally tried the product and was sold on it, I was obsessed with the business from the start. And I had to love the product. And of course, we're all thrivers. The product lived up to its expectation for me. I wasn't even a day one thriver. I was more like day 4 and into my second full week, deciding to leave my other company a week before Christmas, knowing that all our accounts would be shut down and we would have no continued income. That was the huge, huge, thing I was jumping into and taking that risk. But I knew there was no freaking way, once I knew a product that amazing existed and a business model, that I was going to settle for anything less. I wanted to be the one to tell people about it. And I knew so many people that could benefit and lives that could change with this product. And especially this business. I put my foot on the gas. We took off. First account went 12K within 2 weeks. The following 2 weeks later, second account went 12K. Then our first account went 40. Both accounts were 200K, I think, by the end of the following summer. We work, my husband and I, both our accounts, kind of just side by side as one, and work it that way. I always have. And I think our first account went millionaire 3.5 years or 4, and the next one was 5.5 years. I can't remember. We've just worked them side by side. I just kind of treat them that way. We've used the waiting room feature to our benefit to really help our team to kind of stack the way we set up our business. We did a compensation call, I think, within my first week of starting, because we really just kind of wanted to know how to maximize things. And it really was, incredible to know what this company has given us. If you are, confused on the compensation plan, you're in good hands. Lisa explains it well. She's trained on it. Our team has watched her videos many times. But just know that we have the most incredible compensation plan. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, where we're at, as far as my
I did
history.
not know you had 2 accounts that hit millionaire. I mean, that's crazy. That's pretty freaking awesome. And that's a pretty cool milestone. um, you know, you're so right. Like, one of my favorite things, I would say it was probably the most impressive thing to me, was the waiting room. I was like, oh my gosh, this is freaking amazing, because I had never seen a compensation plan or another company that did anything even remotely like that. I mean, in my last company, we had 24 hours to make a placement, and you don't really know in 24 hours what someone's going to do. You don't know what's going to happen. And to be able to have that benefit of building like that, I'm going to ask you some waiting room questions like in a little bit, but I would love to know. And I think that, I mean, you've been doing this now for how long have you been in?
I've been with Lavelle. My 6-year anniversary was December, and then 3 years with my last company, and then on and off for a few years prior to that doing jewelry. So like 12 years, a while.
And I always like people to know people's backstory, because a lot of people compare, they play that comparison game, and they're like, okay, if Karri went 200K that fast, like, what's wrong with me?
I've been
No,
doing this forever.
you've been networking for a while. Like,
Yeah,
you had
building
already-
relationships.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you were building relationships, doing those right things, and you had success in your last company. So it's not like, people don't know the full story. They just kind of know the highlight reel sometimes. And then they kind of start comparing and thinking, I'm not good at this, something's wrong with me. Well, if they listen to this Zoom every Tuesday and they're paying attention, the 200Ks that came in and went 200K quickly all came from other companies that they had seen success at, or they had been messing around with network marketing for several years, versus the people that it took some time to go 200K, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Those people were people that they were new to this industry. And most people we sign up are going to be pretty new to the industry. I mean, some people do have done one other company before that they didn't see any success at or didn't really stick out, but stick with it long enough to see any kind of success. But that is why you guys, everybody has to do the groundwork at some point. We've all been at the beginning, we've all been in the place where our friends and family didn't want it, or, we had to beg people to help me out, or where you had so many no's, you felt like quitting. Like all of us have been in that place, maybe not with Lavelle, but we have been in that place. We all had to start in that uncomfortable place of learning how to do it, learning how to be a network marketer. And, a lot of people are in that phase right now. But the other thing is, I mean, you've been doing this a long time and a lot of life happens in that time. But even with Lavelle and all your success, I'm positive. I'm positively sure it hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows. I mean, we all, in 6 years, I'm going to guarantee you probably lost legs. Like you probably lost some people that you were like, what the heck? They were making money, or why would they leave this business? What is wrong with them? Like, and I'm sure you had people complaining in your inbox that they don't get help and support from their upline, or their downline's not working, or, all the things that we conflict, whatever. Because I mean, we're in a people business. We're not going to like everybody. We need to respect everyone, but we're not going to get it. Everybody's not going to be our cup of tea, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like there's people in my business that I probably would have never been friends with or hung out with in a million years, but they are now part of my business. And, I respect who they are, and our differences, we get over those because it's business, right? You have to do those things. And I would love for you to share a little bit about some of the things that you've kind of had some issues with, or, I don't know, maybe you missed a bonus or lost a rank or lost a leg. Something you can share that other people on the call are going to be like, oh my gosh, it's not just me.
No, that's what I'm trying to think. Like I wrote down some stuff that I know that I wanted to talk about was kind of, you know, um, something that I think has kind of for me been really, I guess, really helpful. Um, is definitely I wrote authenticity, credibility, and consistency. It's when I try to preach these things and show your teams. It's just, you can, I guess the frustration that comes, I think, in this business is, you see the best in everyone and they don't see it, or they don't stay the course. I'm really huge on being authentic. I have credibility. And if you don't have credibility in this business, no one's going to trust you. No one's going to respect you. And you also can get credibility, guys, from so many other leaders in this business. Third party validation is huge. Our product is third party validation. So, I feel like a lot of people just don't realize that there's ways to gain credibility if you're new to this, or just being consistent, and staying the course. That's one thing that I guess I think that happens a lot. And I see that happen a lot is people get in their own head, they get in their own way, and they drop off. And they just say, nobody wants Thrive anymore. No, nobody wants to join my team. Well, if I look at your Facebook page, am I seeing that you're posting? Am I seeing that you're sharing? How many messages have you sent? Have you shared your story on a call, with someone? When you get out and speak about your story and you share it with someone, or did you make a bunch of, make some voice clips on your phone and just send those out to some people with your story, or touch and base? I think that is something that is huge in this business, is you have to just stay the course and stay consistent, and you have to be realistic in this business. That's, I would say, another thing is a lot of people, like you said, they expect to come in and see some of the things that I have. And mind you, I have, my first 200K, was another banker. She hadn't really done this business before. It's just that we have the right product, and we have a great business model, and she's business minded. So, it's definitely, you can grow, but I did build those relationships, and build those networks, prior to this company. But I'll be honest, all my top leaders didn't join me. They didn't come to this company with me. They were very close-minded. And the people that joined me were those who really hadn't found much success in my last organization. They were the ones that came along and joined me because they saw it was a great opportunity. So you just never know kind of what's going to happen. But I feel like too, you have to stay authentic in this business. And that's one thing is, you don't want the business, the business is going to change you. It's going to change your life. But you just want to still stay who you are. A lot of the people that, I'm friends with are always like, when I see you, you're still the same Karri that lived on Johnson Avenue and threw all the big parties in your backyard. And you just have to stay who you are. I'm still the same person that's going to repaint my own house, do my own home projects, cook my own meals, still live with a tight budget and, be realistic about my finances. And, we still have fun and, we go and do things, but, I've always stayed true to that. And same with my business, and my love for this product. I'm going to stay consistent. You're going to know I'm never going to stop telling you how much I'm obsessed with this product. I still get people saying, what is Thrive? They want to know. So if you're not telling someone, I feel like it's selfish. It's selfish if I don't thrive. It's selfish if I don't tell other people about Thrive because of what it's done for my life and what it can do for someone else's life. So you just kind of have to get out of your own way. And you definitely have to show up. Your team's not going to trust you if you don't show up, on Facebook and show the world that you're proud of the company that you're a part of. You're proud to represent your brand. They need to lead by your example and what you're sharing. So you just have to be mindful of, the example that you're setting. You don't have to have, the best of everything when you start. You just have to know that you have the best product. You don't have to, get out there and do these perfect presentations. You just have to be you. How do you, the question just said, how do you know who to talk to? To be honest, you have to find the people that you feel like you can relate to. I know I'm a parent, so most of the time, mine was always parents. I've built relationships through, my son played soccer all through high school. All of those parents, are like family. So it was always just connecting with parents, and it was building that way. My husband and I go out all the time. He's in a pool league, we play in a volleyball league. Our kids are in activities everywhere we go. It's just an opportunity. I always am just, my husband is the social butterfly, and it's always, hey, let my wife add you on Facebook because we love to throw big parties in the summer and we love to have a great time and go out. Maybe next time that we're up here shooting pool or we're doing karaoke, we'll send you guys a message. You guys are a lot of fun. I don't tell anybody, we don't ever tell anybody what we do. I'd rather just build genuine relationships, and a lot of those people can watch us. And if they want to ask me about it, they can. But you have to also get out of your house as well. You can build this business online. I actually went 200K before I even went to an event. My kids were younger. It was when they were younger in this business, it was never an option to travel. I was never going to get in the car. I was never going to fly wherever and do events and things like that. I offered my team trainings online, and I built my business just doing screen shares and virtual trainings and everything from the start. So I've built it that way. So if you can't get out of your house, you can still grow a business, as well. But you just have to put it out there. You just have to share what you're doing and how much it's, how good it's making you feel. Get a little bit out of your comfort zone. I feel like for someone who's new to this business, the stories, I think, are something that people feel a little more comfortable with because they know it goes away in 24 hours. They can put it on there. People can get a sneak peek. They're not making a full post like they're announcing to the world. So they're dipping their foot in the pool a little bit where people can watch what you're doing. But you just want to make your life a life that someone else is going to want to have, or a friend that someone wants. You know, if you're negative, you hate life, nothing's going right, you know, people want to see happiness. People want to be a part of something that's, you know, a community, or something that makes you happy. You know, as a mom, you know I can't pour from an empty cup. So having all of the extra energy to keep up and do all of these things, and also knowing what it's like as a mom who missed a lot because I worked so much. I would never want to go back to that. I'm grateful now that I can be a part of these things. You know, my kids are older, and you know, I soak in as much as I can. So sharing those things, you know, whatever it is, you just have to just be who you are. And there's going to be someone that's going to relate to your story. Just by staying consistent, staying the course. You could post for 10 days. You could send, I had a time where I sent 150 messages. We did like a weekend thing. Nobody replied. Nobody wanted anything, you know? And then it would like trickle in a few months later. I had random people that replied from that blitz. You just don't know. You can't give up, because your 200K is literally just sitting there. Your next big rock star is just sitting there. You just have to keep sharing, because the day that you stop, is the day they're going to see Lisa's post, or they're going to see your other friend's post who's stayed consistent, stayed in the game, and continued to share. If you like Thrive, is it hurting you to make a post about how good you're feeling? That, to me, that doesn't work. I feel like it's just a genuine passion, and telling people about it. I don't feel like I'm doing work at all. You know, I have fun with it because I feel good. Lisa, what other questions? I don't even know if that answered
I,
your question. I
I,
was just talking.
no, you're fine. No, it's all good. Like all of it is good. And, you know, I think that the bottom line is it's all about consistency and sharing your story. Like stories is what sells. I mean, very few people, very few, unless they're actually out searching for a network marketing company, very few people are going to be like turned on by those posts about join my team. What they're looking for is, oh my gosh, that person feels better. They have more energy to play with their kids. They don't have a long commute to work anymore. They're their own boss. Though it's the stories. And I think people don't realize and recognize that sometimes. And we get caught up in, our own agendas and, what we need, but really it's just putting out there. I mean, the actual fact that we have an entire freaking huge page, the Lavelle fan page, full of different stories to pull from. There's never a time you should be lacking. And if somebody's on your heart or in your mind, like go to the Lavelle fan page, search for a story that's someone that looks like them, sounds like them, it has the same issues as them, or personality, whatever. I mean, those little things right there, it's that third party credibility. Speaking, you mentioned this in the beginning, and we both talked a little bit about the waiting room, but actually it's something I don't talk a lot about or ask questions about on this Zoom. And I'm thinking, let's talk about it, because I think sometimes people don't really understand what the waiting room is or how they can utilize it. And honestly, I'm going to be super transparent. There have been times where I forget about the waiting room. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, the waiting room, crap, I gotta go. Like, so that was in the beginning, and I had to start making it part of because everything was moving so fast. And I'm like, oh, are you kidding? I could have moved this person. And sometimes we don't realize the benefits of doing it. And you said you really utilize that and it helped you grow your business.
Mm.
How do you utilize it? Like, what are some tips that you use, and how do you kind of coach your team on using it?
Right. I mean, to be honest, I won't say that I coach a ton right away. Most of my leaders, we understand it. We've got a good grasp on it. So some of my newer promoters, I'll have a conversation with, and I'll say, this may not make sense to you. This may overwhelm you. I want to have a conversation about, your promoters and stacking them. And we're going to make this decision together, because you can pull up anybody's team, on your team, their placement downline. You can't see their waiting room, but who's new and who's not new. But essentially what the waiting room is, guys, is you have 60 days from the time that a promoter joins your organization, whether they order or they don't order, to move them. They can stay. You could have 500 people sign up and they're all your level ones. You're always going to get paid on them as your first level sponsorship pay. But you have, what's awesome is 60 days to take some of those people and stack them under other people. And all of that volume goes with them. So it helps every single person that it trickles up to. So I was obsessed with that. Coming from a binary plan, I basically had two legs of business. Everybody just was put wherever when they signed up. The company just, the system just put them wherever. And I got paid on my weakest leg, like 10%. There was like that hundreds of thousands of dollars of volume I was probably never going to get paid on. You get paid on everything here, and you can move these people. So I think one of the reasons my team, we have, I think, close to 500 auto bonus earners, but we had so many so quickly because we maximized that. As soon as we started, it was, let's stack these people. So if you have, for example, if you have, you obviously, I got a little overexcited and wanted to help too many people. So I redlined myself, our first account from 200K. I think we would have went 200K in 5 months. At that point I was like, I'm helping too many people, just because I don't need to say I'm 200K yet. We got it a few months later, but I stacked a little too much from my husband's. My husband's is the first account. Mine's the second. We stacked a little too much and redlined. But basically you can move people. You don't want to combine everybody together. I always try to say, 4 active legs when you're 40K and up, 12K and below, you need 2 active legs so you can combine. You can have more than that as well. And if someone didn't explain it to you, it's totally okay. You just start from here on out. And you can build different
Well, I
teams.
don't think it's anything that a brand new person needs to even be thinking about.
No,
Because all you're doing when you're brand new, guys, is 2 customers, 2 promoters, rinse, repeat.
Boom.
Focus on your VIPs. If you don't get those, that's okay. The name of the game doesn't change, even if you miss your VIPs. It's, let's get you 2 customers to thrive free. Let's get you 2 promoters. Let's try to find somebody that's going to start duplicating that. It's when I would say you get to 12K that you really need to start going, okay, now that people are coming in that I'm signing, I should think about how this should go. And you're not alone, because we're here. Like, that's why you have an upline of people. You have people that can say, okay, here's your options. Now do what you think is best. And that's the best part about this business. And I'm so glad you talked about the binary comp plan, Karri, because I would say the majority of network marketing companies have binary comp plans. Most of them do. And if you guys don't understand how blessed we are to have a unilevel hybrid, that's huge, because like Karri just said, she had 2 legs. She had no say over her business. She didn't get to help people that she wanted to help because they were hard workers. The system put them where they wanted to put it, right? And then you got paid in binary comp plans. You only get paid on 1 leg, and you get paid on the weaker leg. So I think about that in my business now, and I think about my strongest leg right now. If I wasn't getting paid on that, that's craziness. Like that. And the reason a lot of network marketing companies have binary comp plans is because it benefits the company. That's where companies make the most money, rather than their distributors, their promoters. And so unselfish companies have unilevel hybrids. That's what I always say, unselfish companies, because they pay out more to us, way more to us. And it's so cool because you have say over your business. You can build as wide as you want, as deep as you want. You can help people you want to help. You can, it sucks to watch, in a binary comp plan, somebody get gifted something that they don't deserve. It's like, that happens sometimes. So it's just so cool to have a comp plan like this, but to have this waiting room, it can be a huge detriment to your business, especially the way you utilize it. When you use it, do you ever use it as like a contest, or hey, I've got this in my waiting room, whoever gets to this first gets it? Or do you make decisions on how you place things just based off of this is who I think is working hard? Like, how do you do that?
To be honest, most of the time it's who's working hard, who needs to rank up. Can I move this volume before it expires by the end of the month? That'll carry forward for someone to get an iPad bonus, car bonuses. And because I usually keep everything, combined down to 4 active legs, I'm able to help a lot of people. I used to go like 8 levels deep. I don't anymore. I stick to going 4. So I would always try to help as many people as I could. I just basically would look at it as where it would trickle up to help the most people. Um, or some of the legs that are weaker, that leg needed it for this person who might be redlined. It was really, a lot of it was on strategy and on who's working. And you know I'm not going to redline my business too. So a lot of people, I knew when I came in, I was never going to get, Holly had, I was a strong leg for Holly. I was never going to get a waiting room move because it wouldn't make sense. So there are legs of business that know, hey, it doesn't make sense for my leader to stack under me. So it
Well,
definitely,
and I think that's something we should kind of point out. No
yeah,
one, no one on this Zoom should expect anyone to build their business. And
never ask for it.
oh, I've had that happen, and it's the worst when people expect that. And I will tell you what, I think a lot of people think we just have all these people in our waiting room. You guys, we're normal promoters. We do this for years. I'm not some kind of crazy rock star and roller of promoters. Like, I don't just have a waiting room full of people so I can go build everybody. Like, I've never been given anything in literally 11 years of network marketing. And I'm sure, Karri, you can probably say the same thing for the most part. You probably haven't either. And you want to build your own business because if someone else were to build you, you're not going to see the paychecks that someone else would. If you have a built 200K versus a 200K that built themselves, those paychecks look a lot different because you don't have those enrollments, and those enrollments are huge. But nobody owes anybody anything. It's just it's business, right? I mean, sometimes if you have it makes no sense to continue to go wide when you're trying to get somewhere, and sometimes just boosting someone up with that little bit of volume. And most of the time, I mean, we all know this, promoters that you sign, they don't do a lot. Most of the promoters you sign kind of just hang out and get some free product, or they might purchase a kit. And you know that's okay. We need every single person. They all make up a team, from those little orders to no orders to just hopping on a Zoom and being part of a community. We need everybody, and that's the cool thing about this. When you sign a new promoter, is there anything specific you do, like, in that process? If I was in your inbox today and I was like, "Hey, Karri, I'm ready to go," like, what would you do with me in my first 14 days to kind of?
To be honest, I have, what I've always just kind of used a lot of training videos. I knew that I was never going to be face to face with majority of my team. My whole team, I would say 90% are out of state. And so I made recorded videos before Zooms. I had a program called Meeting Burner, so I used to just share screen. So a lot of times what I'll do is I've got recorded videos that walk them through the VIP bonus. I actually have now converted some to YouTube videos that have been, a good resource that maybe Holly and myself did, or one of my 200Ks. But I always just call them, walk them through kind of their VIP bonus, getting started. When I was first starting, it was always instantly getting them on the phone with Holly. So when you're new, get them on the phone with your upline. My promoters now, when they bring in someone, my newer promoters, we just get on a Zoom and we go through everything. So I prefer that. That way we're face to face. I walk them through the VIP bonuses, and really that's my main focus, is getting them to think about just finding 4 people in 14 days. We need to get 2 customers, we need to get 2 promoters, and we need to get those sample mail outs and shot out today. Like, you need to get those to people as quickly as possible until your kit arrives. I focus on that, the free customer accounts, contacting their networks and sharing, and getting it out to Facebook, that exposure. And I always do a Facebook announcement. I still like to do the old school, let's announce you're a promoter to your network. I want to share that. So I still do all of that as well. But I definitely, it's a lot of, and you can see, it's not that I let them take the lead, but there are people that just ghost you, and that they're just in it because they just wanted to sign up for a promo, or they just, they're just not going to do it. So don't get discouraged. But the people that bug you and ask you 5,000 questions, those are your rock stars. Like, you invest the time, you take the time, and they're like your newborn child for the first 14 days or the first month or 6 months. I feel like just in those first 2 weeks, it's really, giving them some ideas of what to post on Facebook, how to talk to their family and friends, and being that third party validation that they need. I have voice clips saved on my voice memo of my story, what is Thrive, how to take it. I always just tell everyone, toss me in a 3-way message with people. If I'm busy, I've got quick voice clips that I share with everyone, and I validate everything. We have a customer page now that we've started to use over the past year. And that's been really good validation for newer promoters to share that third party validation from training videos and resources that we've created as a team. I didn't use customer pages prior to that. So that's pretty helpful as well. Having a network to validate. So that's really what we spend a lot of time in the first 14 days. But it really is just letting, kind of that promoter take the lead a little bit so you can get a feel for where they want to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think that at the end of the day, I love when you said it's like your newborn baby. Like, people don't know what they're doing yet, and we shouldn't expect anybody to know either. I think that we make that mistake. Oh, well, they can log into their cloud office and they see their tracker there, and if they need me, they'll know. I mean, we really have to like guide people and hold their hands, because the little things we think are so easy are so foreign. Like, take yourself back to when you were a new promoter. I remember I was like, what is all this? Like, it's overwhelming. It's like, what are these trackers? What do they mean? How do I do this? Like, every little thing, you're kind of taking people through that process. But if you're new, and I think it's so cool to see so many new people happen on this Zoom today. Um, I mean, this is our busy time of year. This is when the most people sign up. And, the people that are, what I would tell anybody is the people that are the ones hopping on the Zooms, those are your people you want to run with. I mean, they're already plugging in. That's huge, because there's people that will sign up, like you said, Karri, and they're kind of kidnappers, and they'll never hop on a Zoom, and they'll barely get back to your messages, and they just weren't in it to do it. So when you get that one person that's in it, be that person that you're answering all their questions and helping them and doing all the things. You've been doing this for a long time, and you kind of touched on this a little bit when you said, sharing your story. But are you big on building on social media, or are you more out and about? Like, what is your biggest tips on growing your network?
I would say it's a mix of both. As I said, I would say 90% of my team are not local. If I were to be like, I'm going to put together an event like in my town, I mean, I think, Beth and I, would get maybe 30 people right now. I don't know. Most of our team, I built online. I'm very big online. I joined an internet mommies group when I found out I was pregnant with Logan in 2001. And I kind of have learned how to grow. I raised my kid through a little Diamond Babies baby center mommy group of people who were due the same day as me. So I learned how to do things online and build relationships online a really long time ago. And I've utilized that. It's not foreign to me to have a conversation or build a relationship with someone, if we have the same interests, building online, and growing from there. And I also, like I said, a lot of my customers, I would say, are local. Most of our friends are all either promoters because they like the discount, but they don't promote. They're just all our friends. They love they love the products. But they love their, what they do for a living. This isn't something, they want to do. So I love all my friends, whether they thrive or they don't. So I always kind of just put it out there. So it's just a matter of, I share so much on social media that I let what we do for a living kind of speak for itself, and I'm more or less let a lot of people come to me after they've watched me. There'll be times that I'll do a blitz and do some reach outs, through birthday messages and different things like that, or if someone sampled years ago, I'm going to revisit all of those people. I've tracked every sample through stamps.com since I started. So I will reach out to people over certain periods of time that maybe sampled years ago, and touch base with them. When I was new, I just kind of threw up Thrive on everybody. And, if you're new now, maybe, or you're a year in or 6 months in, when you were new, you probably, word vomited, like didn't know what you were doing. Like, I think I was like, this will take away your pain. And like some of the crazy stuff, I probably didn't know what I was saying when I started. I was just throwing samples out there. I probably never followed up with half of them. I was just excited to get it out. So go back to those people and say, oh my gosh, I feel so bad. I was so excited when I got started. I feel like maybe I didn't follow up with you, or I didn't give you the right information. Would you like a sample again? Anything like that. You just have to just be real. But I think, if you keep sharing on social media, I think that social media really is the key to growing this business. People are going to watch you for a long time, what you're doing, how you're sharing, they're going to see your success with the business as it goes. And you bring in your real life friends to social media and they can see that side of you. I'm not going to go out with my friends on a Friday night and start talking about Thrive or trying to promote the business while I'm out somewhere. I'm going to let them be exposed to what I do by building a regular relationship with them, and they can see what I share on social media.
And that takes time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's what people don't understand, is this business is going to take time. Like, you don't just start posting on, for most people, they don't just post a Thrive post and all of a sudden, oh, my business is built. Like, people have to know you and like you and trust you and start to like, show interest, and building those relationships take time to do. And speaking of that, like, we talk about income producing activities all the time. Like, what should we be doing every single day to build your business? And I'm just at a point where I feel like we need to focus on building those relationships, because this is networking. Without networking, without meeting new people, without growing your network, there is no way your business will continue to grow. I don't care if you're 200K, it will stall out for you. You will have no one left to sign if you're just kind of sticking to the same 500 friends you have on Facebook and hoping that they come around one day. Like, it's, you can't cross your fingers and pray and think that somebody's going to knock on your front door and be like, can I sign up? Like, that just doesn't. I wish like, I wish this was net wishing, because I have wished a lot and it does not happen. What do you think are, like, for people that are on here today, these are things that you need to do every day? I don't care how busy you are. You need to find time to do these 3 things. Like, they have to be done. What would they be?
We had been doing Work With Me. I think we started Power Hours like 4 years ago, but we've just kind of done Work With Me Zooms, like an hour a day, 5 days a week, where people can plug in and do the tasks together. So when you see those anywhere, or someone saying, I know we have the luncheon grows on Mondays and the luncheon grows on Thursdays that they do, just taking those tasks that are shared for that hour. And, I know we have just a list of IPAs. Jennifer's aunt was on Monday as well and shared IPAs on the Lunch and Grow as well. She's my upline. I actually do, a list of non-negotiables in the morning of all the things that I need to accomplish. And part of that is getting out. I get all my birthday messages out. I feel like for me, that's a way I clean up my Facebook and I gain new connections. It may be someone that I haven't talked to in a while, and you get that re-engagement through those birthday messages. And if there's someone that no longer uses Facebook, or I just don't see a need for our relationship anymore, you can clean up and remove them from Facebook. So birthday messages, I feel like, are huge. Um, I also definitely make time to go through my stories. I always keep a story going. I think that that's really, really important as far as IPAs, to keep your stories going so you don't go all the way to the end of someone's newsfeed, getting something that's out there on your newsfeed. And if you can, before you make a post, spend at least 20 minutes commenting on, your leads list. Make a list of prospects that you want to interact with so that they're going to see your posts when you make a post. So I definitely try to make sure that that's part of one big thing that I do, is interacting with people before I make a post as well. And just being active on social media, I think is huge in any way. And another definitely income producing activity is, I want to make sure that, I'm staying in the game with my team, letting them know, hey, there's this Zoom that they can join in, always just making sure that, I'm keeping up with all of my chats, sending my follow-up messages, as well as, growing my social network. I'm not really good with Instagram, and that's okay, guys. Maybe because I'm old. I'm just not really good with Instagram. I've tried. I'm learning. I have Sydney Slayman on my team. She's like a social media queen on Instagram, so I try to follow her, and Allison Mongler. They're awesome examples for my team on Instagram. But I definitely utilize Facebook and growing my social network. I've joined groups. I know Lisa did an afternoon training at one time on deleting yourself out of old groups. Get yourself out of groups, get new exposure, interact in the groups that you're in. I rescued possums over the summer. I'm in a possum rescue group. Whatever it is that you're into, guys, find
Okay,
something to relate to
rescue
people about.
if that
A
does not
possum.
prove there's a group for everything,
Oh,
you all.
a
There
possum
is a
rescue group.
group for everything.
Yes, if I could join a possum rescue group, guys, there seriously is something for everyone. Clean eating, hiking, bowling, cornhole, whatever it is that you like, that makes you you. Like, it was pretty cool that I found all these like random people that liked possums, and
That's just so funny to me. Like, it just proves though that it's for real. Like, you can find a group on anything. And sometimes we're overthinking it. Like, when we think about, well, what are things that make me me and blah blah. Like, it could be as far as I love a certain kind of toilet paper. I am sure there's a group on it. Like, I just think that sometimes we're overthinking
Mhm.
things, and you don't want to get in the groups where, like, network marketing, like, those
No, those are
ones aren't
way.
going to do anything for you. It's just it's funny to me, like, we just overthink it, and we have to stop because it's just about being you. Like, there's
Yep.
other things that make you you outside of Lavelle, guys. So, like, what are those things, those interests that you have, whether they're silly or not? You could meet your next rock star in the possum group. Like, you just never, they're playing possum right now, girl. But they will be there. And if you, I'm glad you mentioned the lunch and learns. If you guys aren't plugging into the lunch and learns, Susan Kaufman and I think Natasha Robertson put those together. And you guys are so awesome because, I mean, you get to hear from all of these different leaders, and it's just a quick training during lunchtime. If you guys aren't plugging into those, you need to. Like, you definitely need to. Karri, I want to thank you so much for hopping
Thank
on
you.
again. And when I asked, you were like, I will. I mean, I appreciate it so much.
No
It's not
problem.
like this in every company is not like this. Like, there's people that are like, well, I don't have time for this, or if I'm not making money off of you, then I'm not helping you. And I love that Lavelle, I mean, the leaders are just, everybody wants to help everybody, even with those lunch and learns. Like, that's, it's not just like one team, it's everybody from different teams coming together saying, I want to help. I just want to impact other people. And that's really what it's all about, is, helping anyone we can, because that's the goal. Is we just want to see you guys succeed. We don't care whose team you're on, which is the coolest thing ever. So I want to thank you so much for hopping on and sharing. And I'm sure there were tons of people on today that got a ton of good information. If they didn't, then they need to clean their ears out because it was so good. And we just got paid, you guys, 1 minute ago. Don't forget to make your payday post. I can't stress how powerful payday posts are for me. Like just mentioning, oh my gosh, today's check. I put groceries in my fridge for a week. Like, do you guys understand? Gas in my car, there's somebody watching your Facebook that's like, I need groceries in my fridge. Like, I need gas. I want to pay my electric bill. It could be that post that they're like, what do you do? Tell me more. So don't forget to make that post. You guys will be back next Tuesday, same time, same place, same link every single week. So you guys can store this link in your phone and share it with your new people. And congratulations to all of the new people that are on. And we have, maybe 7 days left in the month. You guys still have time to go grab one of these crazy bonuses. Good luck. And we still have another month left. You guys, yeah, 4 weeks in network marketing is a lifetime. It is a lifetime. I've watched people literally skip 2, 3 ranks in 1 month once they start getting in their stride and hitting those right people. So this month could be your month, y'all. Don't give up. Keep consistent, stay consistent. Like Karri said, I think the theme of this Zoom was stay consistent. And you gotta show up. You have to show up every single day if you want your business to be a business. If you want to treat it like a business, you'll make business money. If you treat it like a hobby, you'll make hobby money. It's up to you. Thanks so much, Karri. Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
Thanks, Lisa. Bye, guys.
Thanks, Karri. Bye, guys.